Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone who is watching this. I want to wish you all a happy Beltane. Beltane takes place on May 1st, which falls this year on Monday. So I'm actually recording this a little bit early so I can focus on doing a personal ritual for Beltane. So just a brief overview of this lesser Sabbath. A lesser Sabbath is the Sabbath that comes in between seasons. So we had Imbolc, which is on February 1st, January 31st, and that falls right in between winter and spring. Okay, so now we're between spring and summer with Beltane. So we're looking at April 30th to May 1st. And then what we have next is Lunisod, which is August 1st. And that brings in between summer and fall. And then, of course, between fall and Yule, or the winter solstice, we have Samhain, also known as Halloween, on October 31st, November 1st. So those are the lesser Sabbaths. They're mutable Sabbaths. And what I mean by mutable is that they are in transition. They are moving from in between seasons. So we're getting this energy of coming right from spring and getting ready for summer. So I feel the mutability, the transitional aspect of these Sabbaths like Imbolc, Beltane, and Lammas and Samhain. They represent the peak of that season. So we had spring, I believe this year it was March 20th, 21st, or the 21st, 22nd. So we're already a month in. So we start feeling this energy. Everything is just rising and building up. So with Beltane is the celebration of fire, of life force, of vitality. This is where everything's at its peak. We start seeing people more active than ever because they are connecting with this energy of the sun, whether they are aware of it or not. And of course, our days are getting longer, so we want to be outside more and be more active. So that's where Beltane and this peak of energy starts rising. It's also a season of fertility. So this is the time where we start seeing everything in the garden growing. Everything should be more or less at the point blossoming, depending on what kind of flowers and what kind of herbs and vegetables that you have in your garden. But right now we should start seeing some sprouting, or at least things already blooming. Now, weather is changing, so this is going to affect people's gardening aspect, but the energy is still there. We just need a little bit more patience if the weather hasn't been in favor for those who are looking forward to their garden and seeing what's growing. I know a lot of people here in Oregon, especially with the warmer weather we've had in the last few days, they've been outside, they've been in the yard pulling weeds, they're getting their yard and garden all ready for the spring summer season here. So that energy is still coming into play. They're utilizing the vitality and the energy that the sun has to offer. So for Beltane, let's be aware of that energy. Let's see where we are with our health. Where are we with our relationships? Where are we with businesses, our work, our career? Where are we in the peak? If we have already started something, if we've already started a new relationship or started a new job, where are we? Where are things moving towards? That's the time with Beltane that we can really push things forward. So we are also in the month of Taurus, which took place on April 19th, April 20th. So we're about 10 days in. And I'm going to create a separate video. I'm going to try and get it out in the next day or so, where I'm going to go back to discussing the the decans. The decans are the different degrees within a astrological month, and they're broken up from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. And they each are assigned a planet, and they are also assigned a minor arcana card. I've done numerous videos talking about the decans. I have them in my playlist, so if you're interested in that, feel free to look at that. They're all organized. I'll be slimming down some of the videos that I have already in my vault of episodes that I've created. But I'm going to start moving more back into astrology with my readings because I've been feeling a very, very strong calling to it. But that will be in a separate video. Let's get right into this Beltane reading. Okay, so I mentioned Taurus. This deck is Heavenly Bodies by Lily Ashwell. One of my favorite decks to work with, just astrologically. The palette's very soft. It takes a really sensitive, deep look into all the signs, what they represent, their elements. Taurus is the earth element. Okay, remember I was talking about blossoming and growth. Some of the keys here, these are the earth signs. You have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. All of these signs have different levels of characteristics. There's the way that we approach work, very practical. Nothing is, there's not a lot of overabuse of resources. Earth signs know how to work with the resources. If not, they are reminded because they start seeing how their actions and how things just aren't quite working out the way they are because they're not utilizing their sources correctly. Also, Taurus is yin. It's a soft feminine energy. These signs here, Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces, they all have feminine aspects into their characteristics. And so yin is the feminine side, tends to be water oriented. These signs that we have here have influences of sensitivity. So with Taurus, I just wanted to bring these cards out so you could just get an overall of the groundingness that comes with earth signs with Taurus. And yin, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's the feminine planetary influence of Venus, which works with the energy of self-care. Can also relate to finances. And it's also of how we feel about ourselves, how we treat our bodies. Venus, if it's placed well in a chart and also in a sign, it can be a very influential sign. But if it is placed incorrectly, I shouldn't say incorrectly, but if it's placed in where there's a bit of imbalance, we're going to see maybe excess of Venus, that Venusian influence. And also, if it's not appreciated, we could be not using what Venus influences has to offer us. Like we could be working too much. We need to know when to stop and take care of ourselves. So this is the beauty with the earth signs, because it is keeping things very simple. There's not a need to have an overabundance of things. But if it does come up, that's where the imbalance comes in. And then the softening with the yin is of great influence. I'll show you this card again. So I'm going to pull these two aside. I'm doing this reading somewhat late in the evening, so I'm just going to jump right to it. Okay, and we're keeping the energy of Beltane, also the month of Taurus. Okay, so Taurus runs again April 19th, 20th to, I believe this year it's the same, May 19th to 20th. It's actually my sun sign. So I am looking forward, hopefully we'll get good weather here, to another solar return. Each solar return is going to offer us something different. But for Beltane, I want to focus with this energy of movement, of creativity. What is at our peak? Or what do we need to focus on when it comes to getting to that place of where our energy can be of great use. So I'm going to work with the Wildwood Tarot. Okay, I'm going to just pull a few cards here. And I'm shuffling off camera, but just so you could see. My left and right hand is both bandaged up. The cat got into a disagreement with me, Spirit, and it got to my hands. So my hands are a little bit sore, so it's kind of clumsy right now to shuffle in front of everyone, but the cards are shuffling. I'll make sure that you can hear shuffling here. Okay, so I'm going to do one on camera. Okay, so this is part of what I'm going to be working with tomorrow. Okay, let's bring this here so our lighting is a little bit. There's the one hand or the one finger that's bandaged. All right, so wishing everyone wonderful Beltane wishes. And for those who are going to be moms and dads, congratulations too, because Beltane is part of that process, procreation, and also giving birth as well. All right, here we go. Happy birthday to all Tauruses. We'll do card top, bottom, and then I'm going to flip over here. Okay, empowerment. Okay, so this card here is going to be our focus. All right, so we have the Five of Bows, okay, which is with the Wildwood Tarot, it relates to wands. Wands is fiery energy, it is movement. So we have 4 bows, and then we have one bow where we have the hieroglyph of the primal man who is getting ready to shoot, who's getting ready or has already released the arrow. But we're being mindful at this time. When we work with this energy here of movement, but believing in something very strongly, we have to set our intentions very clearly. This is a season too where things are very exciting. As I mentioned, we are in the external realm. We're being more outgoing. We are being active. We want to be outdoors. We want to connect with each other. So during this time of Beltane, if there is something that you are moving towards, this is the time to make it happen. Okay? And when you believe in this so strongly, where you are directing this energy. You have the sense of confidence. You know, it's like, I am so ready for this. I am so ready to go after this project, or to make these changes within myself. Let's go ahead and do it, because we already have 4 bows. These bows could have already been used, or they could be waiting to be used. And since we are in the month of Taurus, let's be mindful of how we're using our resources. Don't be wasteful and just like shoot without any clear direction. Put into your mind, into your heart, where you want things to go. Okay, so this is the focus to start during this week of Beltane. This is going to be our subconscious, the underlying issue, the root, not really the root, but the deeper meaning of what's really motivating us to get to our goals. Here, this is excellent. This is our 5 of bows, which is of camaraderie. Okay, so that's great. We got still a lot of fiery energy going. I also want to point out too, since we are in the month of Taurus, and it's very grounding, things tend to move in a slower fashion. I think the energy that we have here with the 8 of bows, community, the way we interact with each other, let's be a little bit more grounded in our actions when we're meeting with people. Let's kind of cool our heels a little bit, because we just got out of Aries, so we had that initiatory excitement of spring, and you know, just starting off the racing blocks, and we're running. But now let's, as I mentioned, we're at the apex of spring. Let's harness this energy that we've been celebrating and what we've been embracing, whether it's going to events with people, but let's make the events something that's worthwhile, something that is meaningful for you and for everyone else. You know, it should have a purpose. You know, it should be that it means something to you and everyone else, not going just because, you know, you feel like you have to, you know, do a favor. Show up, be present because you want to be there. And that's the scene that we have here, being present and being honest and open with yourself. Okay, so this is how we're using the fire energy of Beltane. Beltane also involves the bonfire and gathering around each other, because we're celebrating. We're celebrating life, happiness, you know, that we're here, that we have a place. This is very interesting. These 3 cards ring a bell to me. Like, I've had all 3 cards like this show up in a reading, but placed differently. It's very interesting, this card's coming up. So this is our underlying issue. It's not an issue, but what we need to be aware of. 8 of stones. Okay, this is related to the element of earth, of work. It's how we're utilizing our talents. Okay. The 8 of stones, this is also representative of the work that we've been doing, how we've been yielding our results, dedication, but working in a very simple environment, not having a mess of things or anything. We are just working with what we need to complete what needs to be done, where we're moving towards. And I like that we're in the cave here, because the cave represents our deeper selves. You know, have you ever noticed, especially people who are creatives, artists, painters, when you get into your studio or wherever you do your work, have you noticed that you just tend to kind of block things out? You kind of put yourself in a cave of sorts. You know, you have the environment that's very comfortable for you because that's how you work. You need to be in an environment that can help inspire you to keep moving and working towards these goals. And so this is what we need here. This will also enhance our skills. So keep in mind the environment that you're in, whether it's the garden, whether you're inside, if you're working on your car, or you're even doing things for yourself, taking care of yourself. What skills or talents, what gifts do you have that you can use in a not an overabundant way, but in a way that will be of benefit to you, that you can get to where you need to finish your goal. But we do this in a very steady manner. There's no rushing. Okay? It's very mindful. We can't really see here. We see these items here that the worker is either still needing to work on, or maybe it's finished, and maybe there's more off to the side. We don't know how much more there is. But what I like here with this card is that it's steady. We just keep working. We keep doing it. We have patience with ourselves. And that's one of the qualities with Taurus. I have patience as a Taurus, but I have other signs that kind of counter that at times. And I'm so grateful to have this sign as my sun sign, because it helps me put things in that stable fashion when I need it, because I always catch myself. So be aware of your activities during this month of Taurus, and as we enter Beltane, because again, this is a lot of energy, this is a lot of celebration. We have these moments that we can, be grateful for what we have, and spending time with people that appreciate good company and conversation and like-minded energy. But we also have to be direct with, where we want to go with this. We can let loose, which is totally fine, which is what fire energy is. It's being open and liberated, but it's also fire energy also relates to the spirit. Okay, so everything that we do, say, actions, our environment influences us from the outside in. Okay, and so there are those times where, sometimes it can get too much, it can get too busy. We're so focused on what we need to do that sometimes it's good just to take a moment, do something different that you normally do or that you haven't done, and try something different. So let me rephrase that. So if you're used to the mundane, doing your everyday work and whatnot, give yourself this opportunity to work on something that gives you pleasure, something that you enjoy. If you enjoy your work, do it, but also keep in mind, give yourself that time to rest, be kind to yourself. Use the Venus energy of, self-care. So here, subconsciously, what we could be seeing here too is maybe let's direct our energy into something else. Let's explore something new. So we can break away from the mundane and do something that we can learn a little bit about ourselves. It could be a hobby, it could be a new skill, it could be something that you've been wanting to work on. Give yourself that option during this month of Taurus and during Beltane to explore that. What would you like to do outside of your mundane living? Give yourself that day just to do it. Alrighty. So that's the reading for you. Okay. So a lot of energy, but let's just keep things very simple. Okay. And focused, but not so much that we're lost in the realm of, working until it's done. This is a time of just self-exploration. Okay. Doing work, but maybe applying it in a different way. Look for a different interest that you may have and explore that a little bit. Okay. Taurus is all about being kind to yourself, but also taking time to see how things are developing. What are you working with? How are you directing that energy? Where is it going? And then also these moments of, spending time with people that are like-minded, okay? Who share the same excitement and the same love of life. That's very important, especially during this time of Beltane. Everything's community. Everything is outgoing. Alrighty. Have a wonderful Beltane, everyone. I will see you all again soon. I will get back to exploring more of the astrology with the tarot. So that's going to be coming up in episodes in the weeks to come. All right, any questions that you have, if you'd like me to do any readings for you, my website is there for you. It's www.themysticrosetarot.com. If you have any questions about this reading, feel free to leave comments. And until then, I will see you all again very soon. All right, have a wonderful week, and happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there.